Let's look few Java interview questions. The first one is difference between JVM, JRE, and JDK. JVM is technically Java Virtual Machine. Okay, uh, let's machine. And JVM is a type of interpreter. Basically, it is just an interpreter responsible for converting byte code into machine readable code. Okay, so let's do this. Hmm. Okay, so JVM is basically Java, and then it is a type of interpreter. Okay, interpreter, and it is responsible for converting byte code to machine readable. Okay, so that is one, and then let's go ahead. It is platform dependent. The rest is not that much needed. JRE is basically Java runtime environment. So this is Java runtime environment, and it is an installation package. It is basically an installation package that is provided that provides an environment. It basically provides just an environment. It is not an interpreter. It provides an environment. Okay, to run the Java program, to run the Java program on any machine. That's the only thing. It is a runtime environment, so it provides an environment to run the Java program on any machine. Whereas JVM is an interpreter for converting. J is basically a development kit, okay, which provides the environment to develop and execute Java. JDK is a package that includes. Okay, it's basically a package, right? So it's basically a package. Which one? Java development kit is a package. Package that includes two things, that is Java development to provide an environment to develop your Java program, and JRE. So basically it provides JRE as well as um, and the tools. Okay, it provides a package which is JRE as well as the tools. Okay, so Java virtual machine is interpreter which converts bytecode to machine code. Java runtime environment is just it provides an environment to run the Java. Okay, is just a package which combines a JRE and some tools. Okay, so that's the one. Next, what are the packages? What is meant by package in Java? Package are nothing but it defines grouping of related types. Okay, it is just a grouping of related types of classes, interface, etc. Why packages are used? Packages are used in Java in order to naming conflicts, prevent naming conflicts, control access, and this thing. What are the advantages of packages? As I said, it prevents naming conflicts, that is, name clashes, and provides easier control. We can also have the hidden classes that are not visible outside. Okay. What are the two different types of data types? There are two different types, which is primitive data type and non-primitive data type. Let's write it down. Primitive and non-primitive. Okay, so primitive are again 8, which are uh, boolean, byte, boolean, byte, short, and char. Okay, and the rest is int, long, float, and double. So you can remember 4 4. 4 is boolean, byte, short, and char. The next 4 is int, long, float, and double. Int, long, float, and double. Okay, that is primitive boolean, byte, short, and char for the first 4. The next 4 is int, long, float, and double. Again, coming to a non-primitive data type, these are basically the primitive type is being provided by Java, so it is by default single values with no special capabilities, whereas non-primitive type are reference data type. So these are reference data types, and it will contain a memory address. For example, these are something called as like strings, array, object, class, like that, and interface. like that. Okay, non-primitive types, string, array, object, class, and interface. You can also remember something like this. Primitive types, we can do it with the wrapper class. For example, Boolean can be converted to Boolean, that is a capital B, which is called as wrapper class also. Okay, the same with byte, the same with char. Again, this can be converted. For example, int can be converted to char or short or long, something like that. So which can be converted is called as primitive, whereas these cannot be converted, right? Primitive, non-primitive types, they cannot be again converted to anything, right? So string, array, classes, interface, and objects. So those are non-primitive types. Next, what is wrapper class? Wrapper is generally referred to a larger entity that encapsulate a smaller entity. Here in Java, the wrapper class is an object class that encapsulates the primitive data types. That's what I told, right? The primitive data types, it encapsulates. The primitive data types are the ones, again, we already saw that. Getting back to the wrapper class, they are, look, the capitals: Boolean, byte, short, integer, character, long, float, and double. So basically, they are the capitals. We can also create a custom wrapper class. How many ways can you take input from the console? We can take around four. For example, the command line argument, using buffer reader class, console class, or using scanner class also. Next, what are the difference between string buffer and string builder? So let's do this slow. So string buffer, basically strings cannot be changed or it cannot be mutable. So that is the reason why we got string buffer and string builder. Whereas, so let's do strings are not mutable. That's why we got string buffer and string builder, right? Now, string buffer and string builder. Buffer was introduced from the starting of Java itself. String builder was later introduced. Okay, so this was the later, probably in Java 4 or 5. I don't know the remember. I don't remember the exact version, but it was later introduced. String builder. Okay, so, and these are mutable. String buffer and builder are mutable. Okay, string buffer. We can remember it as buff, f, and z. That is, these are synchronized. So in synchronized, we have letter of Z, synchronized. So you can remember it as FZ, that is synchronized. Whereas string builder is non-synchronized. Okay, that is one thing. The next, string buffer. Buffer is thread safe. So you can remember it as F. F comes as safe. So F and safe. Okay. And builder. Builder is not thread safe because it builds something. So let's remember something like it is building. So buildings are never safe. Fur is always safe. So fur doesn't fall from a long high distance. Let's remember something like that. Fur doesn't fall, and building falls. So building is not thread safe because it is very high distance, and also it is non-synchronized. So everything is non. You can also remember it like this: non thread safe, non-synchronized. Everything is non. Whereas buffer is thread safe and then it is synchronized also. Okay, that's the way. Let's remember it like that. Let's revise before. What was the primitive? 8 types. Non-primitive is something like reference type, for example, string, array, class, object, and interface. Okay, and what were the before one? JVM and JDK. That is, JVM is virtual machine. For example, it is just an interpreter to convert byte machine to bytecode to machine code. JRE is just a runtime environment. It just provides an environment so that you can run the Java on any machine. JDK is nothing but a package. That is a development kit. It is a package of JRE plus some tools. Packages are basically to avoid naming conflicts. And to reference type primitive and non-primitive, we already saw. And there are 8: boolean, byte, char, short. 4. Let's do that. 4. Boolean, byte, short, char. Boolean, byte, short, char. Boolean, byte, short, char. And the next is int, long, float, double. Int, long, float, double. Int, long, float, double. Int, long, float, double. Okay, wrapper class is nothing but a large entity which will also wrap the smaller entity. Next, string buffer and string builder. What is an array? Array is basically, uh, let's do array. Okay, array is nothing but it stores a fixed size or sequence. Okay, and the way how we reference is with the help of index. There's something called as array list again. We'll say later probably. That doesn't store a fixed list. It has a dynamic list, and it can also store, I think, different types of elements, whereas this one has to store the same type of element. Array has to store the same type of element and also store a fixed size. And to access it, we will be accessing with the index. What are the main concepts of OOPS? We know the main concepts is, let's write it down: inheritance, 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 polymorphism, 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 polymorphism. Next is abstraction, 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 abstraction. Inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. Inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. Inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. Inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. Next, encapsulation, 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 encapsulation. All four. Inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. Inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. Polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance. Extraction, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation. A, E, P, I. A, E, P, I. A, E, P, I. IPAE. Now let's remember something. P, Paya, IP, I, E, IPA. IPA. Okay, there's a beer called as IPA, right? In beer, we have the IPA margin. So we can remember it as IPA and E. That's it. EIPA or else. Encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. Okay. And also we have composition, something like that. What are the brief access specifier and types of access specifier? We have public, private, protected, and default. What is it? Public, private, protected, and default. Again, public, private, protected, and default. Public, private, protected, 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 default. Private, default, protected, private, protected, default, public, protected, default, private. Public, protected, default, private. You can just mix and match, mix and match, mix and match. Just to remember that. Next, what is an object? What is an object? Basically, object is nothing but an instance of a class. You can just remember it as object is nothing but it's always the keyword instance of a class. Instance of a class. And it is declared with the help of a new keyword. Okay. It's a real life entity. That means real life entity means it has, I mean, basically class is nothing but, for example, if you're building a apartment, there's in just the blueprint. It doesn't have a specific real estate space or something. It's just a blueprint. The building where it is located or where it is constructed, that is where the object is there. So object is basically a real life entity. That means it has properties. For example, how much is the width, how much is the length, how much is the size, memory address, and all the stuff. It has object. That is where object is there. So it has properties and methods. So that is the reason it says as it is an instance of a class, right? Next, an object can be declared using a new keyword. Next, what are the different ways to create an object? As I said, using new keyword, using clone. Let's remove this. Using new instance, let's remove that. Using declaration, also let's remove this one. Using new method of the constructor class, or else using the, let's just put using the method of the constructor class. Okay, that's good. So let's revise. So different ways to object create an object is with the help of new, with the help of clone, using method of constructor class. New, clone, 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 constructor class. That's it. Thanks.